Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. You have got a regular back on the channel. First time in a while he has been on. It is Mr. Turton, so good evening. Hope you are well.
Good evening, Dan. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it has been a while. I mean, a lot has happened since you last been on, so how are you finding it with us at the minute?
Yeah, have we actually done a video this season?
Start of the season there, North.
Well, yeah, we had our usual kind of dramatic period in the middle, didn't we? And then
Yeah,
did something very unusual. We actually gave the manager a new contract.
I know.
That then we started to gain a few more points. And at the minute we just seem to be on the up a little bit. Who'd have thought that we'd get us to the semi-finals of the Carrot Cup, as I like to call it. And let's not talk about the other cup because that's irrelevant. But yeah, league-wise, we're starting to pick up form. I'm hoping I haven't cursed it, but could really do with 3 more points tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since the restart from the World Cup, I mean, bar the two defeats, we seem to be when we have played. We just don't feel like we're going to lose at the minute, bar the Man United game, and that, and we seem to find like a new formation and probably our strongest 11, if that makes sense.
Well, you've got to look at how many transfers we did bring in, and it was a bit like, is this actually going to fit together? And I think for a lot of games, we've I think we found it with Bolly at the back, a 1 year out wide, gives White just kind of as a deeper central player. I think I think that's kind of where we're at. I mean, anything behind the kind of 11, I don't think is quite there yet. But you got to think we've not got Kuyate playing, who, to be honest, I think is a starter.
Mm.
Um, You've obviously not seen much of Niakate, but he looked good when he played against West Ham. And you've got players there that aren't currently available, which in an ideal world you'd have playing. So the transfers this month is going to be crucial. I think Scarpa for one is only going to get better as he settles, and then anybody else you bring in has to literally affect the 11 players that we put out, because there's no point just buying players to sit there. We've already done that.
Mm.
If you want someone just to sit on the bench, you can keep Dennis. Don't put him on though, because he winds me up.
Do you get into your exclusive turn mode?
I absolutely do, Dan.
Well, yeah, now, yeah. Do you feel like now that we got that level, the players that we got been in now got to improve on that level?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no point signing a player that's not with a vision of rocking the boat a little bit
Mm,
and arriving and go, well, pick me. Because arguably at the minute, I cannot name you one player in the fit squad we have that has proved to me that they should be playing instead of the 11 that played against Wolves.
mm. Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I couldn't agree more with you on that one. I mean, how do you feel about the Wolves game?
We started off well. We drifted through the second half like it was an inconvenience to us, to be honest. I mean, Bolly getting injured wasn't actually that great. I don't think our backups are on his level. But I never thought we'd go through the whole game without conceding.
Mm,
But we also didn't do enough going forward.
mm,
But at the end of the day, that game was savable with penalties. I think against Leicester, we're going to have to be a lot braver with the ball. Stop playing it back to Henderson from their box. I mean, that winds the crap out of me. There's no need to go all the way back to the keeper from the attacking
mm,
box. Get it in there. Get men running in on the ball and put the ball in the box. Create something.
mm,
Be a bit more adventurous. Have a shot. Stop playing it safe.
mm. Yeah, that's fair shout. Um, I mean, that's sort of going back on my own point on one thing, but um, that's the thing now. Because do you think now we've got that settled 11? Do you think that, yeah, fair enough, we are going backwards, but do you think now we've got some sort of that, a best 11, passes of play will improve and, like you said, being braver with the ball against Leicester? Do you feel that that will come more now? We've got that sort of 11.
But you can see that when we played Chelsea and then when we
Mm,
played Southampton, we hardly changed the team.
mm,
And the criticisms that came from the Chelsea game instantly changed when we came to the Southampton game.
mm,
Johnson was braver going forward. He put the ball across. He's going to miss chances.
mm,
And I'm just going to put it out there to everybody that watches these videos. Brennan Johnson is a winger. He is not a striker. You cannot expect him to score every time he hits a shot.
mm,
We need to give the guy a break. He's going to step up in leagues and he's adapting still. But he is getting better. But he's also getting clattered because the Premier League fullbacks know how dangerous he was from last season.
mm,
But arguably, the passages of play are a bit like what I was saying during last season. If
mm,
you if you've got Tabo playing on the other side, basically bullying the defenders off the ball, a bit like a la Keenan Davis, you don't you're then coming from both sides.
mm,
At which point it's harder to defend against. I don't see Scarpa as a solution over there. I think he is more a rotation with Gibbs White, who, by the way, I think is just insane. I have no idea why Wolves decided they didn't want him because, I mean, thank you. I think you've just found us the creator of our success because he's just brilliant.
yeah, definitely. He's finding his feet now, and that sort of relationship that he is getting with Tower, with Brennan and Lingard in a way, you can see it's getting better. And I know Lingard's injured and Tower's that, but he's making things tick like Sink did last season. He made things tick when Sink was Sink, but Gibbs White is starting to have that effect what Sink did last season.
Yeah,
I know
sorry.
this
I
is
mean,
better than Sink, but
I think the trouble is with you can't compare the squads
nah.
because the team in the championship we had worked for the championship.
Mm,
But I was even saying during games in the championship, this side would get absolutely pummeled in the Premier League.
mm,
And okay, this set of players has on occasion took some big defeats. But I always say the first half of the season is where you figure out all your mistakes, where it's going to go wrong, what you need to improve on. And in the second half of the season, you really need to hit it.
Mm.
If we can turn it round so that the games away to Leicester, for example, we better it. I mean, come on. You got a chance to put it right. They stuffed us 4-0 at their ground. But that doesn't mean that now they're going to come here and absolutely batter us again. We're a totally different animal.
Mm.
And we've got players like Serge Aurier, who, to be quite honest, when he signed, I wasn't a big fan. But he's one of the first names I want on our team sheet.
Mm.
The one thing I would like to say, though, is if there's one position in the side that I think is very much somebody's to take, it's the Mangalore role. I've not been that impressed with Mangalore recently. I in a Steve Cooper type mentality, I want more.
Mm.
I want to see more because I think he can be better. And you, it's contagious. This kind of Steve Cooper demanding more every game because you're watching it and you just think, yeah, that's going to irritate him.
Mm.
That that passing it back aimlessly around your own box and overplaying into positions where Joe Worrell's then passing the ball towards Ryan Yates, but it's not to Ryan Yates. That would annoy him. They would have analysed that and it'd be don't pass it like that.
Yeah.
At that stage in the game, that needed to be a ping one way or the other, totally in the sky, as far away as possible,
Mm.
and move up the field. You don't want to be passing it 20 yards forward to where the player's not even in the vicinity.
Mm. Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, it is in a good way that they are trying to play, and fair enough, sometimes they are overplaying it, like you said. So I completely agree with that, and it is nice that we are. I mean, it's good in one way that they are making mistakes because they can cut them out or improve on them. And they can get better from it. I mean, there's probably one player, and you probably agree with me on this. To be fair, that's been probably has cemented his position more than out now. It is Yates there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you always know what you're going to get from Yates. I mean, nobody's ever expecting Ryan Yates to score as many goals as he did last season ever again. I mean, he scored the insane amount of goals for a player in his position.
Mm.
But the work he does off the ball is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think and I think you had to get a player in the side like Yatesy that we weren't playing that way at the start of the
Mm.
season. We we tried to go with that 3-5-2, which was never going to work in a million years. There were
Mm.
too many gaps. And as soon as you took it out and put 4-3-2-1 or whatever it is, I don't even care how you put it. It's one of these formations where you've got players and they're spreading out and they're making themselves look more compact,
Mm.
which means you can get the ball, which means you can attack.
Mm.
You've just got to look. You got to look at it both ways. Yes, all right. We lose an attacking player in that way, but also that's not strictly speaking always the case. Because if you can select two midfielders in front of Freuler that can carry the ball and then come forward, and play some forward passes, you've almost then got 5 in attack.
Mm.
But it's the final balls and the aimless passes and taking forever and spinning one way and then the other way that loses us the space. If we
Mm.
if we constantly went forward and passed the ball into the spaces with our players that have got more pace, like Gibbs White, like Johnson, and got them in and quickly moved it, we'd score more goals.
Mm.
It's easy to sit here and pick it apart and say it, but I put money on Steve Cooper saying exactly the same thing. Move the ball faster, be braver, make some more runs.
Mm.
It's all things that he will see the same as us because a rarity in Forest history, we have a manager that actually sees it how the fans see it.
Mm.
For the most part, anyway. You're
Yeah.
always going to get the odd one that's a little bit weird.
Mm. Yeah, completely. I mean, going into the Leicester game, I mean, you said about being brave on the ball from Forest. Um, I mean, are you wanting to see that sort of similar 11 to Wednesday to play against Leicester?
I want a curveball. I
Mm.
want us to bring a player back that's injured.
Yeah, you can
I,
see a wobble happening again from last season.
I, I like Gibbs White, where he said he was going to be out for ages and then he just puts him in the side. I mean, Steve Cooper is the master at cover ups, and
Oh, talk.
I absolutely love it. But
Mm.
I mean, if you have to pick that 11 starts because I still go back to that Blackpool game. Nobody in that side did anything to say pick me apart from Scarpa.
Mm.
Oh, and guess what? Scarpa's the one that got picked.
Mm.
And I think for the first 50 minutes, Scarpa was doing things.
Mm.
But after that 50 minutes, he faded. And
Fitness and
again, you got Surridge, Dennis, and Colback coming on. Did they really do a lot when they came on? I mean, Colback ran around a little bit. I mean, all right, he scored the penalty in the end, but I find penalty shootouts a bit inconclusive. I mean, the one player you'd say was definitely going to score didn't score. So again, you can't really judge your performance on a shootout. But going into the Leicester game in more detail, you know what you're going to get from Leicester. They're going to make it difficult. It's not going to be like last season in the cup. They're going to come here. They're going to want to make it difficult. It's going to be awkward.
Mm.
It's going to be tense. We just got to, when we get the ball, we've got to make sure we use it and take advantage of it because we can get shots in at Danny Ward. We'll score.
yeah.
We can get inside their heads tomorrow. We've just got to make sure that we actually play.
Mm.
If it if there's ever a time to turn up in the season, it's now.
Yeah.
You you have got, in my opinion, now, well no, it's fact, you got to at least play every team at least once and Leeds twice.
Mm. Yeah, we have got to play least hours. Mm.
You've got a chance to play again against every single team you have literally played in the season, apart from Leeds. We've got to play them twice.
Mm.
If you can't look at how we played against them last time and improve, there is an issue.
Mm.
I want more points in this half of the season than I did in the first half.
Mm.
I'm big on it. I'm big
Yeah.
on getting better results. If you can get a better set of results across the 19 games first, so arguably Leeds at home becomes the first game. That becomes the number 19 of the season.
Mm.
It won't be number 19. Then when Leeds away comes round, you're better the Leeds at home game.
Yeah,
All right, some will say that's a crazy theory. You've still got to go away to teams, and it's harder to win away, which we're proving. But also, if you get the right players in, we can gain away form. If we can gain away form and maintain the home form, we're stopping up.
yeah, definitely.
Simples. It's simples, but it's gotta be put into practice.
Mm. Have you got a score prediction for tomorrow?
Mm. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go 2-0.
Oh, interesting. Do you want to say about your YouTube channel on your socials?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, check it out. I'm doing a Premier League show on Wednesday with a few fans. I think I've got a Leicester fan coming on, so anybody that wants to watch Leicester fans cry, that'd be useful. I'm gonna regret actually saying that now, aren't I?
Yeah, I'm going to be recording this bit.
But anyway, um, I just I've got a show coming on Turton Talks Football, and it's gonna be great. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's Turton Talks Football on YouTube. I've got built a little mini team behind the scenes now. If anybody wants to join in the mini team, you can drop me a Facebook message. Most people will know where to find me because most of you are probably in my Facebook group, Walking on Water anyway. If you haven't found that yet, where have you been for the past 3 years?
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, I've got a Twitter page which is at Luke18652110. I'd really love to see some more people on there as well. Um, but yeah, generally I just talk football basically. I mean, we've got other leagues coming up as well. Yes, I'm going back to the EFL. I miss it that much.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, anybody's welcome.
Hmm. Yeah, so do hit Luke on the YouTube channel, not physically, but on the YouTube channel. Um, Obviously, it will probably be talked about Barnsley on the EFL show, so I had to bring that up. um,
Dan, I've really missed that. I mean, come on. Like, I generally don't have any connections to Barnsley now because we've even got rid of our Barnsley CEO. So
yeah, that's what I mean. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.